Hi everyone. Today we'll try to understand about the mouse movement. Okay. So ultimately the mouse movement, right? So to move the cursor, ultimately some content has to be displayed on the screen. Okay. So to do that, we need a protocol called the simple pointer protocol. Okay. So let's include the protocol. Okay. So protocol simple pointer dot h. Okay. And now if I go to this header, we have this here, right? So now it is going to expose a data structure called simple protocol pointer. Okay, so let's copy this, and here we will keep it a static method, a static variable. Okay, and let's use the same name, simple pointer. Okay, and by default I will initialize this to null. Okay, so now we need to locate that protocol here, right? So here we are already locating the GOP protocol. So what I will do, so I will copy this and then I will paste this here, and this I will replace with the m simple pointer. Okay, and this GUID, right? So this GUID is ultimately which is simple pointer protocol GUID. Okay, so now here the status for us now it is not needed. Okay, so now this GUID has to be coming from somewhere, right? So we need to include that in the protocol section. Okay, and now here we have located this pointer protocol. So if this pointer protocol is not available, then we will simply return. Okay, and now we need to show the cursor, right? So let's define the cursor size. Okay, cursor underscore size. For now I'm going to give the size as 10. Okay, so now at the end, um, here. Okay, so let's define the required variables. Okay, so we need to know the state of the pointer, right? So let's search for the state here. Okay, so here, so this will gives us the simple pointer state will give the relative x and y and the z axis where exactly our cursor currently which is present. Okay, so now I will copy this here. So this I will call this as a pointer state. Okay, and now we need to get to know the current x and y, right? So which is in our case we are going to work in the two-dimensional, so the x and y we need to know. Okay, so probably this I'm going to copy, and here I'll paste it. Okay, now here it is not the relative, so I will this relative probably I will replace this with current. So which will gives us our current x and y positions of the mouse. And by default, we are going to initialize the cursor positions as 0. Okay. So now here, in the earlier video, we have already shown some image, right? So now we will fill with white color again. Okay. Here, I'll copy this, and then here I'll paste it. Now our screen is going to fill with white color. Okay. So now let's once we print the white color, right? So now we have to get the cursor movement always, right? So I will use a for loop, sorry, while loop. Okay, so while true means until we break it. Okay, okay, so now what I'm going to do, so I will wait for the mouse events, right? So whenever the mouse is going to move, which is ultimately going to trigger the event. Okay, so gbs boot service, and then wait for event. So that event, right? So here if I go back to this, so number of events, so in our case it's a one event. Okay, so what is the event which we are looking for, and it is going to give the index. Okay, so in our case it's an one event. Okay, and now that event is our input event. Okay, so now which is nothing but address of m simple pointer and then wait for input. Okay, and then it is going to give us the status. Okay, so now if there is no issue with the mouse, right? So in that time the status will be success. Okay, so if there is no error, right? So this uint right? So which is ultimately the index. So index is ultimately a status. Okay, so now if there is no error, if there is no EFI underscore error of the status, so then we can get to know what is the current x and current y. Okay, so now we have the variable which is this current x and current y. So that we will get it from the relative current x and y, which is nothing but this one. So this we can get it from is equal to simple pointer, sorry, not the pointer, which is okay. So before so now here what we did, so we got the relative status, right? So now before we jump into getting the pointer state, so we need to we need to get to know this pointer state, right? Whether that pointer state is also available or not, correct? So now here, okay. So now status is equal to simple pointer, and then I'm going to call the get state function, and this get state function is going to accept two arguments, this operator and this state. Okay, so this operator is nothing but in our case this is m simple pointer. Okay, and the other argument is the pointer state which we got here, which is this one, a pointer state. Okay, so and a pointer state. So now if there is no issue with the get state, right? So then we can able to read the x and y of the mouse pointer. If there is no error on the status, so then the current x is nothing but a pointer state dot relative x. Okay, current y is nothing but a pointer state dot relative y. Okay, so now so this will gives us the a relative position. It does not tell where exactly our cursor present. Okay, so we due to that we have to keep on incrementing this current x with the relative offset. So that's the reason we are going to do the add. Okay, so we will take the current, and then we will uh, add the relative x and y. Okay, so now whenever we add it, right, so there is a probability that this x can go beyond the it can go in a negative number, right? Whenever this x goes outside of the monitor, then this current x or the current y can go in the negative number. So we should have some error handling. So if current x is less than 0, so then the current x we are going to reset to 0. Okay, and similarly for the y also we will do the same. Okay, so now this will take care if it goes in the negative number. So what if this x and y goes outside of the screen, right? So then we should have that error condition. Okay, so if current x is greater than or equal to, okay, so now what is our horizontal resolution, which is int 32. I need to typecast because our current x is in the int 32. So M graphics output, or I can get the preprocessor directory which I have already defined, right? So horizontal resolution minus cursor size. Okay, so if it goes beyond this my screen, I have to reset this X to this. Okay, so now whenever in the horizontal positions, if it goes outside of the monitor, we are going to reset this to the end of the monitor. And same thing, we are going to do it with the y-axis as well. Okay, so current y, and the y-axis on the vertical sides, right? So here it should be a vertical resolution. Okay, so now once we got the x and y axis, right, then I can simply fill the frame buffer. Okay, so now probably here I'm going to copy this. Okay, the one which we have already printed some red color in the earlier videos, right? So here I will just make it as some alignment so that we can check, we can see clearly. Okay, so now I will do the format. Okay, so now we have this graphics output and we are going to fill the red color and we are doing the video fill. Okay, where this x and y is not needed. Okay, and then here instead of giving 0 0 now, we are going to give the x and y. Okay, so which is x and this is y. Okay, and then the now we don't have to fill the entire screen, right? So we need to fill that buffer only for the cursor size. Okay, so cursor size of in the x and the cursor size in the y. So in our case, the cursor is nothing but 10 cross 10. Okay, so now let's build it. Build. We will go to build folder, emulator, debug, x64, winhost, and here we will run our tool gop sample driver. Yeah. So now here you can see we have this red color here, right? So this is a dot. And now all of a sudden there is this dot and this dot and this red color is got popped up. Okay. So it's because my mouse movement is so faster that it is not coping up with this window. Okay. So that's where that relative values we have to do some adjustment. Okay. So now let's try to shift by suppose say a random number 5. Okay, so this is a purely a adjustment which we have to do it for our model. Okay, so now again I will build it. Okay, so now I will run the winhost. So now keep pay attention to the corners. Okay, so gop sample driver. Okay, so in the right side corner we have this red color. Now I will move it. Now in the bottom right and in the bottom left we got that dot, and if I move bit above again, right? So now still that my mouse movement is so fast that it is not able to capable handling it. Okay, so now let's try to increase it to suppose say 15. Okay, so now I will build it again. Okay, so now I will run the winhost gop sample driver. Okay, so now here you can see now it is able to print. So wherever my mouse moves, the same thing it is happening. Okay, so now what's happening is we are continuously filling the frame buffer at that point. So which means that white color is getting overwritten with that red color, which means ultimately we are filling that frame buffer. Okay, so now in the next video we will restore that background so that wherever our mouse moves, only those pixels we are going to write, and the earlier mouse movement pixels we are going to restore it to its white color. Okay, so yeah, that's it for today. Thank you.